In this part, we will look at reasons for using entrepreneurial methods. This will take us into some fundamental, perhaps even political or philosophical questions around the meaning of life. I will first give you a brief overview of reasons for being entrepreneurial, which is in itself reasons for using entrepreneurial methods. There are a number of self-oriented reasons, as well as a number of others-oriented reasons. Let's start with the self-oriented ones. Using entrepreneurial methods can be a fun and great experience. These methods can increase your chances of becoming successful and winning in whatever endeavors you are pursuing. They facilitate achievement, they help you make money, some even get rich by using entrepreneurial methods. This makes these methods a potential path to happiness and independence. And some entrepreneurial people even become cherished heroes in our society. When students use entrepreneurial methods for these reasons, I label them as students as takers. They apply methods in order to get something for themselves, which is fine. Self-interest is a massive motivational force in society and can lead to a lot of good things for many people, not only the ones benefiting directly. It's like the famous economist Adam Smith wrote a very long time ago. It's not from the benevolence of the butcher, the brewer or the baker that we expect our dinner, but from their regard to their own self-interest. But there are just as many others-oriented reasons to use entrepreneurial methods. These methods will help you help other people. They also help you build good relationships to other people, things which can feel really meaningful and even contribute to a better world. Entrepreneurial methods is a great way to address some of the most pressing issues of our world, such as sustainability issues. We will come back to that in the last video. It's a lot about making others more successful. Therefore, I label students who use entrepreneurial methods for these reasons, students as givers. They are in it primarily in order to do good. But that can in fact also be very good for themselves. So, self-oriented and others-oriented reasons are interconnected. Doing well by doing good, as the saying goes. If you want to read more about these perspectives, I've written a research article about it. You will find it in the recommended reading folder on Canvas. In that article, I write about different perspectives on happiness, taking from happiness research, motivation research, and entrepreneurship research. I then contrast this to what it means to lead a meaningful life, filled with creativity, co-creation, teamwork, and engagement. Some of you might also want to take a gender perspective on all this, because there's a lot of literature that suggests self-oriented perspectives to be masculine and others-oriented perspectives to be feminine. I'm not myself so knowledgeable in gender research, but I do find this rather interesting. Are men more self-oriented than women in general? Or is that a crude and unfair generalization? But if that's the case, maybe some men need to focus slightly more on others, and some women need to focus slightly more on themselves in order to reach a healthy balance between oneself and others. Another crucial issue on the topic of why to use entrepreneurial methods is to have a more pluralistic perspective on what value is. Let's not just focus on trying to create economic value. Let's remind ourselves that value comes in many, many forms and shapes. Here's a framework I've developed in my research. It is, of course, a simplification, but it serves as a reminder that entrepreneurial methods can be used to create a lot of other kinds of value than economic. Of course, if we run out of money, we also soon will be out of business, but money is seldom the purpose of it all. It is rather an important means to create other kinds of value. If I go to myself, I go to work every day as an entrepreneur not to make money, but to have fun and create social value that contributes to harmony in the world and for myself. That's what motivates me. But motivation is deeply personal. There is nothing right or wrong here. You need to examine your own heart to learn more about what motivates you. And then it helps to have the bigger picture of what can motivate people. Let me give you an example. This is Notch, the creator of Minecraft, the best-selling video game of all time. Despite this enormous success, and despite Notch becoming a very rich person after selling Minecraft to Microsoft, Notch has a problem. And let's not forget that Notch is a quite controversial person on Twitter. He's written some crazy things. But here I'd instead like to focus on his relationship to his company Mojang, the owner of Minecraft. Notch writes, I would musk and save the world, but that just exposes me to the same type of assholes that made me sell Minecraft again. It seems in the end he sold Mojang to get away from it all. I don't know Notch personally, but let me here speculate a bit around what might have happened. I think Notch's journey with Minecraft started here as an act of creativity and being in flow, building something he enjoyed himself and that he thought others would enjoy too. Simply put, an act of meaningfulness with others. But as huge success came about, everything grew insanely. Money came into the picture, as well as people who have as their primary focus and expertise to create wealth and take control over this little marvelous company. To Notch, these people probably came across as assholes because they were in it for a very different reason than himself, a value clash. But they probably also helped Notch a lot in making Minecraft becoming the best-selling video game of all time. I don't think he would have been able to do that on his own. For that, he needed the business-driven, so-called assholes, with his words then. And let's be pragmatic. The market economy, with its reliance on self-interest, has created enormous wealth for our world. The problem is, of course, the unequal distribution. But we do need both sides here. To me, balance is what we should strive for. A good balance between self-interest and others-oriented creativity. Oops, seems we almost ended up in politics here. But in the end, we don't need to be so political, because this is not so much a moral or ethical issue as it is a methodological one. After all, every truly successful entrepreneur has created a lot of value for his or her paying customers. There's an old saying on this: if you want to make $1 million, help 1 million people. Or if you prefer this one, help 1 million people and money will never be your issue. Simply put, you have one job if you want to be entrepreneurial: create new value for other people. Regardless of whether helping others is your main motive and drive, or if you do that as a means to become rich or happier yourself. This might sound obvious and basic, but in the history of entrepreneurship definitions, a focus on ordinary people's ability to create value for others is quite recent. The behaviors of quirky, mythical, heroic individuals and the havoc they might cause on established markets has been the focus for almost a century of research, from Joseph Schumpeter to Scott Shane. It was not until in the new millennium that focus shifted towards the main societal role of ordinary entrepreneurial people to be competent in creating new kinds of value for others. To summarize this part, I think there are many different reasons why people should learn and apply entrepreneurial methods. As famous researcher Saraswati wrote, we should exclude no one from using these methods. Instead, they should be an essential part of basic education for all people. Ability to create value for others is as important as math, reading and writing. So these methods are not just for students at Chalmers School of Entrepreneurship to learn and master, if you ask me. And for me personally, I cannot live without them. They are a huge part of what makes my life worth living every day. So just enjoy.